Space Invaders from 78 or whatever, I would consider that a shmup, even though you're not scrolling anywhere.
It's the earliest one. It's the first.
But then there's games like Tempest, that are a little different, that kind of do their own thing. I would consider that a shmup, even though that's not really what you think of when you think of a shmup.
Just too technical with it. Like they say, oh, this is a shmup because it's this, or it's not because it's that. I mean, that's how games work. Some games are hybrids. Some games innovate and they do things a little bit differently. You just know. It's like I start playing a game and I just know it's a shmup. It may or may not look like one. It may or may not exactly play like one, but it's more shmup than it is anything else.
Yeah.
The reason I don't really call them shmups unless they're the later games is back in the 80s and 90s, there was no such thing as shmups.
Right.
No word such as shmups. It didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. I hated the term for the longest time.
They called them shooters, or in Japan they called them STGs for shooting games. Yep. You can call them shoot 'em ups. I just called them shooters all the time. And the only reason shmups became popularized and came about was because the term was taken from the genre by first-person shooting games. Yeah. So there was some time like when first-person shooters became really, really popular. And I remember it because we were around back then, and people just started referring to Doom and Wolf 3D and Quake and all those games as shooters.
And I was like
so when we would talk to each other and we would say shooters, it used to be people would just know you're talking about a shoot 'em up. But then all of a sudden, whenever you use the term shooter, people would think you were talking about an FPS game. And eventually it became annoying. So it was like, no, that's not the kind of shooter I mean. I say shooters. Oh, you mean like this? No, not. So then it's just like, you know what? It's just easier to call it something else because FPSs became so popular that they usurped the term.
Right.
So that's when it became, okay, well, now we're calling it shmups. And I don't remember where shmups came from. Maybe some I've heard some, UK European magazine somewhere that used to use the term.
But it's fair that they would now share that, at least, if not kind of take over the word, because first-person shooters, that's way more popular now than, controlling
Absolutely.
a spaceship.
And it happened naturally. It wasn't decided. It wasn't like someone said, oh, we're not going to call them this anymore. It's just that, that's popular culture. That's how it works. That's how language works.